MSC. I think now we will allow members of the progressive forces to also give a statement. Then we'll allow them their questions and we'll then respond accordingly.
No.
My greetings to the members of the media here. We've got our monarchy, the royal household, Bayede. We've got the ministers and the clergy, Obaba, the leadership of MK, and we greet all the leaders of the various political parties and all South Africans. Let me start by this quote from Winnie Mandela, which really builds once again on what Obaba said in his statement. And I quote, open quote, "It is only when all black groups join hands and speak with one voice that we shall be a bargaining force which will decide its own destiny." I close quote. In preparing for this briefing, I was reminded of the chairperson of the TRC Commission, the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who once implored on Mama Winnie at the TRC to admit that whatever her intentions might have been in Soweto in the 1980s, that something went wrong. Mama Winnie responded in a candor and fearless manner as always, and she agreed that indeed things went horribly wrong. Today is a somber moment in our history, truly defining moment for this nation. In the same light, we want to implore on the ruling party, on the ANC, to admit that whatever their intentions were for the 2024 elections and the so-called government of national unity, they must admit to this truth, this reality, that things went horribly wrong. Things went horribly wrong for the majority of the black people, for the black child, for those black government employees that are now classified as catered employees because the X is on their neck. Things went horribly wrong for the politicians whose prison doors are open awaiting them because of this arranged marriage. Many South Africans thought we were having a great new start in the 2024 elections. It was buzzing. We came up with new political parties. Young people were hopeful, saying 2024 is our 1994. And yes, we all agreed that there were fundamental changes that needed to be made in our society, administrative and legislative systems that needed to be changed to address the issues of poverty, unemployment, inequalities, and governance. But little did we know that 2024 is the DA's 1994. We watched with horror on the eve of the first sitting of the 7th administration an interview with the so-called DA veteran Douglas Gibson and our veteran Ubaba Matthews Posa. That was supposed to have been the bachelor's party of this arranged marriage between the DA and the ANC. And it was so sad to watch Gibson on TV jeering and mocking at Baba Matthew Posa and the ANC, patronizing him. And he was so docile, with cap in the hand. He could not even respond or call the men to order. All he could say was that by this time tomorrow, Cyril Ramaphosa will be president of South Africa. That was a moment of awakening for me, because it was at that moment that we realized that the material conditions of poverty, despair, degeneration of our people has been sacrificed at the altar of positions. Just like in 1994, the focus was on who is going to be president at all costs. While we lost our land, we lost the economy, we lost the mines, we lost the ports. Indeed, once again, we have lost our country. Once again, the heritage and inheritance of the black child was sold for a bowl of soup. Positions without power, a throne whose power is borrowed from the markets. It reminded me of 2022. After much oppression and marginalization of our people in the metros, a group of us minority parties, we came together and said we are leaving the DA multi-party. I was leading that multi-party. It was the very same DA who labeled us as delinquent, as corrupt, and we became enemies. I was enemy number one of Helen Zille. She's still suing me even today. We're shocked that today they are singing the praises of ANC. They are the one leading the charge to give the baton of government to the ANC. They forgot that we were stripped naked, investigated. We were ostracized for going back to give power to the ANC in the city of Johannesburg. But believe me, it's only a matter of time. As Baba's statement has said, let's watch and see. It's only a matter of time that arranged marriage is going to come crumbling down. I'm inspired again by an Afrikaner woman, Susan Smith, and I'm calling on all progressive forces to pick this spirit. She stood against the British regime. She was the driving force behind the Great Trek. Suzanne played a leading role, and she led all the women. They were determined that they would rather walk across the Drakensberg barefooted to die in freedom, as death was dearer to them than the loss of their liberty to the British rule. So Baba, as the progressive parties, will rather stay and starve outside and die in this pursuit for our freedom than to submit to this ANC-DA regime. It was Her Excellency Golda Meir in 1973 when she was Prime Minister, and in her reflection in the book that she wrote, My Life, she said, I regretted the decision not to take preemptive measures when war seemed imminent. Well, as political parties today, young leaders, we understand more than ever that war against the black child is imminent. And we can't fight it divided. We have decided to heed your clearing call, Baba, and unite, consolidate ourselves. We have all had our Damascus experience. The road to Damascus moment has happened to all of us 26 parties. We now know the truth. The light has come. We are now beginning to speak in one voice. What we should have done before the 29th of May, we are doing it now. So in the days to come, together with the MK and those that are inside, we are going to consolidate. We are going to regroup. Whilst we look at how do we help the disenfranchised young people out there, the youth of our nation in these next 5 years. But Ubaba has advised us that when we look at the constitutional review, it's not going to be a piecemeal approach. We are not going to look at land only. We are going to be bold. We are going to be decisive. We are going to overhaul the entire Constitution so that it aligns to this dispensation and what we are facing in our time. We will jointly fight for the entire Constitution to be reviewed, to remove every hindrance to transformation. economic emancipation of our people. We are no longer going to be debating about it. This current constitution has not served the aspiration of our people to attain economic freedom. And as I conclude, we are going to borrow again from Mama Winnie's spirit. She was never demoralized. Her inexhaustible tenacity, her commitment to justice is going to fuel us and fire us as we approach our unwavering pursuit to set aside the decision by the IEC to declare these elections not free and not fair, because they were not. We know it's going to be a long road and the system is against us. But as the parties that are outside, we are supporting MK in the application, we're supporting ATM in their application, and given legal advice, we'll also lodge our own application. Some people are saying to us, the horse is already bolted. We know the horse is bolted. We are not stupid, we know. But listen, the horse is bolted, but there's a Red Sea awaiting the horse ahead. That Red Sea is not necessarily EFF, but there's a Red Sea, and there's only one Moses that has the rod to part that Red Sea, and it's Ubaba. When they get to the Red Sea and they are stuck, they are going to call on this Moses to part this Red Sea, and will be there to cross over with him. As I conclude, I want to encourage you and everybody, and I'm sending this message to everyone. It's only when we have liberated ourselves, in the words of Mama Winnie again, it's only when we have liberated ourselves can we cooperate with other groups. There's no reason now to accommodate other groups. There is no reason to accommodate any market. Until the majority of our people are free, they have economic levers in their hands, and a black child can have a future in this nation. Amanda.